I've wanted to do things better. So I kept on learning, and I'm not practicing on people too much now. Though I want to, but I need insurance. And I'm having a heck of a time living in Ontario affording insurance and getting people to understand these systems. I need insurance, and I think I found it, but I can't find it here. Have to call again, put some intention into it. It's frustration. I'm thinking of building the business in Alberta. The one that attuned me was Lisa Powers from. She was living in Arizona at the time. We're back to Calgary. Her family's up there. There's another Reiki master up there that teaches from Germany with her granddaughter, and she teaches transfer Reiki. I like that. I'm getting that. And Amy Flegger, I studied under in the United States. She taught me grandmaster and Krunaki. And then I got attunements from Italy in Kundalini and his methods. And they were all chi balls or key balls. We call it ki in Reiki in Japanese. We call it ki in Chinese. So I started studying that, and I started studying psychology because I think it's important to have that on there, and life coaching. And I'm 68, and I don't like all this stuff. I'm good health. I use an Apple Watch to prove, like Lakata didn't have an Apple Watch, right? To prove that things were changing in her body. And I can prove it on my Apple Watch. It's taking readings. There's a lot of dogma in the world on Reiki. And I hear people saying I was level 2 and I quit. I didn't listen to it all, ma'am. Do you still practice Reiki? You get the attunements, but you don't practice. And it's like a piano, you get the piano and you don't practice. It has to be built up and continued. Last night I had a bad stomach infection from the food I was eating. I'm living on the food bank here. I'm not making it well. And I just came back and I thought I'd get some justice in Ontario for what happened to me. When we get into these fields, our family rejects us and they stole a lot of money on me. Might have to just let it go and move west. I got a Canada pension, but it's not enough for Ontario. And I was trying to get equine assisted therapy. So I've studied equine Reiki and the zones on a horse. I've studied craniology. I need to get horse to do this work. And I can blend all these modalities. Like doing a bit of massage. I don't do massage, but I do aromatherapy. I wouldn't mind learning massage. And while I'm applying the massage and hand movements, putting Reiki in that and acupressure points with Reiki, and it brings back the body into a wholeness. And my spiritual practice has been not too much YouTubing. I YouTube on here a bit, and I see some good practitioners coming up. And I hear him talking about spiritual arrogance and running down Reiki and other systems. And that's, I know the spiritual intellects, arrogant, the narcissistic leaders. You can be careful who you choose for a spiritual teacher. Reiki has only one intention of all good. Nobody owns Reiki. There's different schools. I looked at my lineage. I've got a good lineage of Reiki. It goes back to sure, and it goes up to other ones. And I've got Violet Flame Reiki. I've got Angel Reiki, Master level. I got Money Reiki. Now, Money Reiki is not. It's to break the blocks of the money system. I'm breaking the blocks that the government isn't breaking it in Ontario. I'll have to move. I just realized this was a province of struggle. And Lisa's out there. I might work with her. I'm going to start selling other energies like aromatherapy. I'm big on nutrition. I'd like to get learning Cornell or some plant-based nutrition. Okay, you're a vegan? You don't have to be a vegan, but majority of your diet has to be good plant-based material. And have a little bit of meat or a bit of fish. But protein levels aren't that high. But as far as Reiki goes, what I do when I'm sick, I generate the water. I take water jugs and I change the molecular structure on it with Reiki holding it. And I visualize the crystalline energy going into the water. And this is proven. It's proven. Japan, they proved this scientifically by putting different words on glasses. And love is a word. And it changed the molecular structure. Well, when we do Reiki, I learned off a British Reiki master. Now, there's certain Reiki practitioners I've walked away from that say things I just don't agree with. She was in Britain. She said, "You don't put your hands over your eyes. It's bad for your eyes." I disagree. My discernment says that Reiki is good for my eyes. I've lowered my glaucoma levels. I had glaucoma. And it hurts sometimes going in. I can feel it hurting. I had a bad fall, head injury, and I'm healing that with Reiki. And I can feel the energy going into where it needs to go in. Now, we call it echoes in some Reiki masters or heat. My hands get very hot when I'm applying energy. So I'm going over while I'm here in Ontario and getting my calming down and moving west because I just realized the legal system doesn't work here. And getting revenge is, my oracle deck says, boomerang effect coming back and struggle. So I'm just going to move out of Ontario because it's going to be greedy for a while with the high prices of rent and housing. And I'll move out to Alberta. It's cold out there. Not as cold as here. The heart makes things warmer. No, there's a lot of nice people out there. First Nations, we were talking. It'll be a start. I'm going to get into horse therapy. And I learned off Liz Minton Ryan up in Kamloops that they're going to apply Reiki to horses. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to multi-integrate my skills as a practitioner. You know, I know trauma. I've suffered it, and PTSD trauma is unusual. Compound. It gets compacted right down inside. So I'm staying these modulars on it from the state of Texas, Arizona. Usually we can't remember these things. But spiritually, my guides are helping me remember things. So I journal, write them down, and send Reiki intention and clear it. I use a lot of Kruna Ki on this and master symbols and when I apply energy to anything, I stream in gold light. Because gold light, I had a friend that didn't agree with me in Reiki. We had our differences. She listened to some girl on it saying it's pure light. Pure light attracts darkness. And she said, I disagree. Well, I've studied under Dr. Chazé and other professionals that know that this is true. It attracts dark energies. Pure light. And gold is the energy around it that reflects it. So that's how we get these strands and cords attachments. And I've had them. I've had them with animal therapy. I was attracting animals to me that were going on to the light, but they were attached to my lower chakras. And I had to get a therapy system that removed it with biofeedback and regenerating the energy back through a computer. So when I was getting that done, I could see these little cats and dogs starting to detach from my auric zones. And they're all connected to me. So I started learning crystalline and building grids. And that's what I'm going to work on while I'm here. Try to get some money, pay up what I owe here, move west, and I'm going to buy some crystal kits and grids. I've been learning off of Happy Soul in Toronto, and there's some crystal shops around here. I can get a subsidiary license, move it out west. And there's some crystals that really resonate with me. And they seem to be quartz, pure light quartz, and I use selenite, which has got its own natural clearing. But when I do Reiki, I put a center stone in there. And I'm going to get a little picture of the person or animal and put it on, actually the animal. I do horse Reiki. And I'll put it under the center stone. The heads and energy will go to set intention. So I'm learning, and I bought a Reiki box. It's a very nice one. I'm going to have more of them. And I didn't know how to put the intentions in there and draw the symbols. Found these little notebooks at the dollar store. They fit in, and they work well. So I got a tourmaline quartz and selenite in there, rose quartz. I'm breaking things. And I can generate energy into that box every day and do distance. There's a woman out in Alberta that does this. I'm an animal psychic or animal communicator or whatever you want to call it. And I get horse messages. And horses to me are clairvoyant. Some are clairsentient. I got a little bit of clairsentience. And I just don't use that when I have doubt. I use a dowsing crystal. I use many tools. So every system I've learned is like a mechanic with a lot of tools for different things. So I don't get into camps of the Reiki system. I got the lineage, and I'm proud of it, the original lineage. But then I started learning Violet Flame, which was 2002 she came up with. And there's all sorts of systems. And I do not negate any system. But I negate when you say don't put your hands on your eyes, that'll be bad for you. That didn't work, and I asked for a refund on that course. I was really disappointed of her as a British Reiki master. Now, I'm in the International Reiki Association. And she formulated it because we had groups of them that were saying Reiki cannot be attuned distance. Well, she was attuning all over the world, people distance with the Hanchestakoban, which is the distance symbol, with the other symbols. And she was doing it all in one load. And that was a lot of energy. So I have a friend in Bangkok that is more powerful, a healer, than other Reiki masters in Bangkok, because she attuned them that way. And we talked about that. And I'm pretty powerful too. People say they can feel my energies. First Nations notice it. And people from India I tend to attract. And people from countries, Asian countries too. They know I'm a healer. First Nations, they too, spiritual men and women. They can feel the energy. Some people reject the energy. I don't like what I feel. I don't know what it is. So strange. It's something very intense that you need. You've had a hardship. And I had a woman there. She was really attacking me, and I just stayed calm. And she had mental health problems because the guy killed himself, and she was trying to look after him. And she was a mess. She was a real mess. She was out of the University of Calgary. And she was a support worker. But she had good intentions. So she finally sat down with me and talked about chakratic imbalances. That was good because I've studied all that. I'm a chakra master. I'm also a EFT master practitioner. I know EFT and neurolinguistics. I've got a certification in that. These are long courses, and I've got through them. EFT. I think it's good for psychics because we get blockages in our chakras. And my friend was a psychic, and I had to unblock her, and I did, and she got working again. And it was in her root crown chakra. So I've been learning how to activate my crown chakra. I use quartz crystals and etheric crystals, everything I can. But I really want to get into aromatherapy. This stuff works very well. And I want to be able to offer a lot of things to people. So I started understanding stories and what isn't serving us in life coaching. So the Reiki goes in there and it cuts through all the bad stuff and cleans the room of what's in your life. And quantum healing is very intense too. So I'm saying that too. But I wouldn't negate any of it. And anybody that's on here and says was a practitioner level 2, and I don't practice now. Level 2 gives you a set of symbols, right? And that's good. Go back to them, draw them, and really get what they mean. Please do that. And don't negate it. Your strength will come up, and the energy will pop up, my dear. It will grow and get stronger. Don't negate the level 2. Go back and draw the symbols and look at them as a sutra and what they mean. And you'll get somewhere. So that's my advice.